all of this ignores the one topic that no one has any guts to tackle, and that is Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. These obligations to the American public are not even discussed in these debt ceiling conversations. That $32 trillion debt does not include Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, government, military pensions that all exceed in total north of $100+ trillion, 3 to 4 times what the $32 trillion debt really is. And it's not something that I think will go away, and we'll be doing the same thing in 2 years. And I think it's an embarrassment that this country, the most advanced, prosperous nation on the planet, finds itself in this predicament continually. And as I mentioned last week, remember, it was just 6 months ago when Janet Yellen had to raise the debt ceiling by taking what was the phrase that she used? Extreme measures, which meant borrowing money from the Postal Service's retirement account, the civil servants' retirement account, and the disabled veterans' retirement account. We keep pillaging and taking from Peter to pay Paul to conduct ridiculous monetary or fiscal policy spending, so wasteful that I don't know. I don't look at it as being anything but irresponsible to have gotten in this place. Not irresponsible raising the debt ceiling. It just continues the irresponsible behavior, I guess. But we continue to pile on these stupid, ridiculous spending obligations, like $150 billion to the Ukraine, and we're broke, we're insolvent, and we continue to spend like we're wealthy. Yes, we have a prosperous country, so to speak, but our government is indebted to a degree that probably can never be paid off. And I listened to Rand Paul give a discussion, I guess a speech to the House floor, and he basically said all you need to do, and no one will ever listen to him, is to take 1% off of everything, top to bottom, 1% for 5 years. And at the end of that period of time, he claims the budget will be balanced. But all of this ignores these massive obligations to the American people. You balance the budget today, we are still so far indebted, it's extraordinary. And yet you see the Fed talk about continuing to raise rates because this fight with inflation, this supposed fight with inflation, is never going to go away as they continue to spend more than they take in. Inflation is an increase in the money supply. So yeah, it's coming down right now. You see it really coming down right now, but there was so much money pumped into the system, which is working its way through. And the obligations down the road are so extreme that either we continue that behavior of inflation or we default, one or the other. And these are the things that aren't being discussed. And it's time that we have an honest discussion about it. It's not anywhere to be found on either side of the aisle, except from a guy like Rand Paul, who the media just glosses over. So yeah, I don't know, Chris, it's a big deal. And I think, to your point, you don't know if China has the infrastructure to do it. No, they don't, but maybe together with the rest of the BRICS nations, they do. And I think our foreign creditors certainly watch the dysfunction that we have here on every level, from our elections to our finances and to our woke agenda that doesn't, to me, inspire confidence for a would-be empire or the strongest, most prosperous nation on the planet. And this is why you're seeing such de-dollarization going on, which, when you see, like you and I were talking before the show here, the bleed down of the registered category down to nearly like almost its lowest level ever, maybe the second or third lowest, 27+ million ounces in the registered category. When you see all of this metal being delivered off exchange for physical, when you see the largest one-day delivery of silver off the Shanghai exchange in its history since they started trading silver, you can understand that big money is accumulating silver, no question about it. Yet on this end, in terms of availability and premium, it's really not that bad at all. You would think this would be a precursor to the inevitable higher premiums and difficulty getting product. And I love this guy's graphs. I love the way he does it. But yeah, you can see there's 22,480 was 22,480,000 was the low, and we're not too far off that. But look at the drawdown since silver squeeze, and this is very methodical. And I think that's part of the game, is to let this go along out and far as they possibly can, so that they can continue to drain the system of what it has available. And you can see that it's not just focused on the COMEX. Like I mentioned, the biggest one-day delivery ever on the Shanghai Exchange, and the LBMA delivering, and the ETFs delivering. And these are very sophisticated traders who are doing this. And you can see they're just gathering as much of the physical as they can, gaming the paper system in order to do it. And when this is let go, when they say, well, no one wants to sell us anymore, let's stop shorting the price, I think it'll be something to behold. It is, in my mind, unquestionably the most undervalued asset on the planet, and one whose its uses continue to expand, not only in its monetary demand, but of course the well-documented industrial applications as well. Yeah, this is a very unusual time, namely because there's so many things happening around us that should manifest itself in much higher prices. That's the counterintuitive price action that trips everybody out and makes them say, screw it, I can't deal with it. But this is what the big money is intentionally doing. And what betrays the price action is the drawdown from these exchanges, as I keep mentioning. I mean, you and I and Rafi tried to take possession of a 1,000-ounce bar. Now, granted, it was through a different platform, but in order to get it delivered, the three of us together, and I own a major precious metals company, it was hard as hell. It was not easy. And I can tell you that this is a sophisticated endeavor. And to do it all around the globe in concert fashion, where you're seeing it from all the major spots being drained, and countries like India importing 300+ million ounces, it tells you we're getting very close to the end of the ballgame. And I think that's what people need to grasp and hold on to. Because if price was truly a reflection of value, then you would not see what you are seeing by not only the biggest money in the world. Yes, the amount that they're taking is huge, but it's sophistication. And that, to me, speaks volumes. These are big money that do not want you to have any idea what they're doing. And it's only people like you and I, who are the fringe, who can find that information. What's been taken off the LBMA, what's been taken off the Shanghai Exchange, what's been backdoored out of the ETFs, and what's coming off the COMEX. It's not easy to find, and certainly you don't find it on any mainstream publication anywhere. And so, yeah, it might be right in our face because we know where to look, but the rest of the country, the rest of the world has no idea of this repositioning that is taking place, and they are using price suppression with great leverage of over 30 times on the COMEX to run cover for it. So yeah, this is a golden opportunity. If you're talking about getting silver, availability, premium, spot price, all three are really very attractive. And most of the stuff that people would want, I have in stock right now for immediate delivery.